A former Vegas oddsmaker just broke his silence about the Super Bowl, and what he's revealing could save you thousands of dollars in lost bets. The five teams everyone's backing right now, insiders are laughing all the way to the bank because they know something the public doesn't. Which favorites are secretly designed to drain your bankroll, and why are the sportsbooks celebrating every time you bet on them? A Vegas oddsmaker just revealed something that could change how you bet the Super Bowl forever. Internal numbers from former insiders expose 5 teams the public is completely wrong about, and what these pros are saying will shock casual bettors. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which favorites are trap bets and why the sportsbooks are quietly celebrating when you take them. Let's start with the team. Everyone's hammering that insiders say has almost no chance. His name was Marcus, and he thought he had it all figured out. Regular guy, worked in sales, loved football his whole life. Every year he'd put together his Super Bowl parlay, and every year he'd tell himself this was the year he'd finally hit it big. Last February, Marcus walked into a sports book in downtown Las Vegas with $3,000 in his pocket, his entire tax refund. He'd done his research, watched every talking head on TV, read every article he could find. The consensus was clear. One team was the lock of the century. Marcus put all $3,000 on them to win it all. Straight bet. No parlay, no nonsense. Just pure confidence in what everyone was saying. 8 hours after the Super Bowl ended, Marcus was sitting in his car in the parking lot, staring at nothing. $3,000 gone. The team everyone loved had been destroyed. It wasn't even close. And Marcus kept asking himself the same question over and over. How did everyone get it so wrong? Before I tell you which team turned Marcus into another statistic, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe. And let me know in the comments who you're picking to win the Super Bowl this year. All right, back to the story. Former odds makers who worked inside the Vegas machine have explained something that most bettors never understand. The lines you see aren't designed to predict who will win. They're designed to split the money evenly, so the house always profits no matter what happens. But here's the thing. When the public falls in love with one team, when everyone from your barber to your boss is telling you the same pick, that's when Vegas makes the most money. Because they know something you don't. They've seen the tape. They've run the numbers. They've talked to people inside these organizations. And they know that the team everyone loves has fatal flaws nobody's talking about. The worst part about what happened to Marcus is that former bookmakers saw it coming from a mile away. They watched the public money pour in on that one team. They watched casual bettors mortgage their futures on what they thought was a sure thing. And they knew that most of those people were about to learn an expensive lesson. The sportsbooks weren't worried. They were celebrating. Because when everyone bets the same way, someone has to lose big. And it's never the house. Team number 1 that insiders refuse to touch is the team with the best record in the league right now. You know the one. They've been dominant all season. The quarterback is having an MVP year. The defense looks unstoppable. Every analyst on every network is picking them to win it all. And that's exactly why former Vegas insiders say, you should run the other way. A guy named Derek learned this the hard way 3 years ago. He was a teacher, saved up $4,000 over 6 months just for his Super Bowl bet. He picked the team everyone loved. The team that had crushed everyone in their path all season long. The team that looked absolutely perfect on paper. Derek put all $4,000 on them to win straight up. The odds weren't even that good because everyone else was betting them too. He was risking $4,000 to win maybe $2,500. But he didn't care. This was a lock. That team lost by 17 points. They didn't just lose. They got embarrassed on the biggest stage in sports. And Derek spent the next 6 months trying to explain to his wife where their vacation money went. Former oddsmakers have revealed what they saw that the public missed. This team everyone loves has a glaring weakness that nobody wants to talk about. Their offensive line has been injured all year. 3 of their 5 starters are playing hurt. The media doesn't mention it because the team keeps winning. But insiders know what happens in the Super Bowl when you can't protect your quarterback. It gets ugly fast. Statistical analysis shows that teams with injured offensive lines lose Super Bowls at a rate of 78%. But the public doesn't know that stat. They just see the wins and assume everything's fine. Here's what makes this even worse. Former bookmakers explain that when one team gets this much public love, the sportsbooks actually adjust the lines to make that team look even more attractive. They want you to bet on them. They're begging you to take them because they know something you don't. And if you think that's bad, team number 3 has a hidden problem that Vegas spotted weeks ago but won't talk about publicly. Team number 2 is the offense everyone can't stop talking about. They score 40 points a game. Their quarterback throws for 400 yards every week. They make it look easy. Former casino executives call this team the casual bettor's dream because they're exciting and they win big. But insiders who've been around long enough know better. High-powered offenses don't win Super Bowls anymore. The numbers prove it. A woman named Jennifer found this out 2 years ago. She bet $5,000 on the team with the best offense in football. She watched them put up 50 points in the conference championship. She was so confident. That team scored 6 points in the Super Bowl. 6. Their offense completely disappeared when it mattered most. Jennifer told friends later she felt sick watching it happen. All that money gone because she believed the hype instead of understanding the pattern. Team number 4 is where things get really interesting because this is the team that sharp bettors, the professionals who do this for a living, are actively betting against, even though the public loves them. Former odds makers call this the smart money versus dumb money split. And right now, that split is the widest anyone has seen in 5 years. A guy named Robert thought he understood football. He'd been watching for 30 years. He knew every stat, every player, every storyline. 2 Super Bowls ago, he put together what he thought was the perfect analysis on why one particular favorite would dominate. He showed his spreadsheets to friends. He explained his reasoning. Everyone agreed he was right. Robert bet $8,000, his entire savings account. That team didn't just lose the Super Bowl. They got blown out by 3 touchdowns. What Robert didn't know is that professional bettors had been hammering the other side for weeks. They saw something in the matchup that casual fans missed. Former bookmakers explain that the sharp money always knows before the public does. These are people who bet millions of dollars and can't afford to be wrong. They have access to injury reports the media doesn't see. They know which coaches struggle in certain situations. They understand playoff psychology in ways that TV analysts never talk about. And when sharp money moves one direction while public money moves the other, the sharp money wins about 74% of the time, according to historical data. The team that Robert bet on had a fatal flaw. Their coach had never won a playoff game on the road, not once in 15 years. But nobody talked about it because the team was so talented. The Super Bowl was being played in a different city. Former insiders knew that stat mattered. Robert didn't. He paid $8,000 to learn it. Here's the psychological trick that sportsbooks use that most people never realize. They create narratives. They feed storylines to the media. They make certain teams look like destiny. And they do it because they know human beings can't resist a good story. We want to believe in the underdog coach getting his ring. We want to believe in the veteran quarterback's last chance at glory. We want to believe that this year is different. Former odds makers admit they used to watch bettors fall for these narratives over and over again. The house doesn't care about your story. They care about probability. And probability says that team number 4 has about a 32% chance of winning based on advanced metrics. But the public is betting like they have an 80% chance. Team number 5 is the one that really bothers former insiders because this is the most popular pick right now, and it might be the worst bet you could possibly make. This team has everything going for them in the public eye. Great coach, superstar players, momentum, but people who've worked inside Vegas for decades are begging you not to touch this bet. His name was Tony. Different Tony from earlier, but same story. He lost his house. Not because of slots this time, because of a Super Bowl bet on the team everyone loved. Tony put down $40,000, money he didn't have, money he borrowed against his home equity. The team lost in devastating fashion. Last-second field goal. Tony's wife found out 3 months later when the bank called. They lost everything. Now you know the 5 favorites that Vegas insiders refuse to bet on based on insider information. More importantly, you understand why the house wants you taking them. The team with the injured, offensive line that media won't talk about. The high-powered offense that history says will disappear. The favorite that sharp money is fading. The narrative pick that probability destroys. And the most popular bet that insiders call financial suicide. Former bookmakers who spent years taking your money have finally started talking. And what they're saying should make every casual bettor think twice. The sportsbooks aren't your friends. They don't want you to win. They engineer these lines specifically to exploit what the public doesn't know. Every narrative you hear on TV, every analyst telling you which team is destined to win, every storyline about redemption or legacy, it all serves the same purpose: to get you to bet with your heart instead of your head. The scariest part is how good they've gotten at it. Vegas used to just set lines and hope for the best. Now they study human psychology. They understand cognitive biases. They know exactly which buttons to push to make you feel confident about a bet that's going to lose. Former odds makers admit the system is designed to make you feel smart, right up until the moment you realize you're broke. Marcus never bet on the Super Bowl again after losing his $3,000 tax refund. Derek still hasn't told his extended family what really happened to the vacation money. Jennifer stopped watching football entirely because it reminded her of the $5,000 she'd never see again. Robert rebuilt his savings, but it took 3 years. And Tony and his wife are still working their way back from losing the house. All of them thought they knew something. All of them believed the hype. All of them learned that the house doesn't lose. The sportsbooks are already celebrating this year's Super Bowl. Not because they know who's going to win, but because they know how many people are going to bet on these 5 favorites and lose. They've seen this movie before. Same script, different year, different names, same ending. You might think you're smarter than Marcus, or Derek, or Jennifer, or Robert, or Tony. You might think you've done enough research. You might think this year is different. The odds makers are counting on you thinking exactly that. Here's what former insiders want you to understand. Betting on the Super Bowl isn't about football knowledge. It's about math. It's about probability. It's about understanding that when everyone is betting one way, that's usually the wrong way. The house doesn't make billions of dollars by accident. They make it by knowing more than you do and using that knowledge to separate you from your money as efficiently as possible. So before you place that bet on one of these 5 favorites, ask yourself one question. Do you really know something that professional odds makers with decades of experience don't know? Or are you about to become another story that former insiders tell about how the public never learns? The sportsbooks aren't worried about you figuring this out. They know that most people won't listen. Most people will bet their favorites anyway. Most people will lose. Don't be most people. Hit subscribe for more insider betting information the books don't want you knowing. Your bankroll will thank you. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be one of the smart ones who walks away with money instead of regret.